This is a Milne Road Studios production. With Mr. Shaun Evans.
G'day, Ashman. How are we?
Not too bad. Whoa, killed it. You better get the crowd involved.
Oh, sorry, I went early with that, didn't I? Anyway. All right, let's get the crowd involved. There they are, the warm-up.
How are you, buddy?
Good, sir. Yourself?
Not too bad. Not too bad. We're back at the studio. We've had
a bit of a delay, haven't we?
about 3 or 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
How's your mum going? She well?
Yeah, she's all right, thank you. Yeah, a few family issues in those weeks, so apologies for our one listener of Michelle Nichols. She's had to talk to people on the bus going into work instead of listening to us. So, she's doing a bit better. You know, elderly age, these things tend to happen, don't they? So
they are in that age group now, aren't they?
Aren't we all?
We're getting closer all the time.
Aren't we all? No, look, it's been a few weeks, so it's great to be back, actually. How have you been?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. We've done quite a few bush trips. We've been up to, not as high as Wilpena Pound, but we've been up to
I love Wilpena Pound.
Up to Hawker and up that way. So where else we've been up there? Jamestown, we did another big property up there and seen some big red kangaroos, brother.
Ooh, really?
Some 6'6" dudes. That was on a farm. That was near Corn. That was in the middle of nowhere. So
Wow.
he was a big guy. There was a whole load of emus that, as the van came down the road, they scampered, and then this big guy standing up like this, and I thought, oh man,
hello.
look at the size of this guy.
Hello, ladies. What was he?
Big red.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to take him on, would you?
No, this guy was huge. This guy was a whopper, mate.
It's like the Marty Monster episode back in the 80s where the Marty Monster hugged the kangaroo and the handler said, no, mate, you don't touch him. And he went up and he gave him a hug and he sort of went, blah, blah, blah. Well, the kangaroo's reared up on its back legs and booted Marty Monster right in the orchestras.
They're pretty cool, aren't they?
I don't think he had
strong.
Kids after that, but and then of course he was swearing, so that the television cut and they went straight to a television commercial because there was Marty laying on the ground swearing because he took on the kangaroo.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, so we've been up the river. We've been around quite a bit. Well done, Vinny. You've my mate there from Brazil.
Yes.
I've been working with him now for about a month, so that's going well. So
Excellent.
Yeah, we've had a pretty busy month, so it's given us a little bit of time now to reflect on the week that was, mate. It was
absolutely
crazy. We've been at the smelter. I haven't been at the smelter all week, which has been a godsend, and I've started on site all week, which has been excellent. But
I think the smelter misses seeing you. I know I do.
I don't miss going there.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I miss seeing you there because you're the only sort of person that is I enjoy seeing. No, I shouldn't say that, but it's a dull week when you're not in.
Certainly a different place at the moment, isn't it? It's getting beat up, and there's shortages, and
yeah, it's battling away, and never a dull moment, but certainly busy in there. There's no doubt. There's no shortage of work just at the minute. It's just a matter of trying to make it all work, I guess. But it's everyone's head down, bum up. There's no sort of fun to it at the minute. It's all sort of work.
Nowhere to hide. Just a matter of trying to get it out there for the customer. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And builders have obviously got their demands day by day. So yeah, it's certainly a head down, bum up sort of place at the minute.
Monday I did a podcast over to Liverpool.
Yes.
With Justin Hopper. So that was a highlight of the early in the week. So
he's really good on podcasts, isn't he?
He keeps fairly structured. He keeps control and he doesn't get too excited. He sort of but he's been up to Iceland this week, or last week he went up there for 4 days R&R, and he said it was magic to go and see what it looks like, because it's sort of off-earth looking. There's no trees and, lots of geysers, he called them, exploding grounds. And there's a lot of earth tremors and, waterfalls. Look magnificent. So
Could you imagine just saying, how's your week been? Oh, I went to Iceland this week.
It's so good being in the Northern Hemisphere, so close to everything, isn't it?
What did you do? Oh, I went to Paris on the weekend, whatever. What did you do? I don't know, I went to Mowbray North, it sort of doesn't have the same ring, does it?
No, and it's a long way. It is a long way to get round that side of the world. You know,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if you go to Vancouver, that's 15 hours from Sydney.
Yes.
You still got to get to Sydney. There's another 2 hours plus downtime. So automatically you're sort of 20 hours to the US.
Do you think that's why people, when they go from here, they do long trips? Because it's like you don't want to go there for a week and then come back.
No, it's too
Because you're going all
short.
that way.
Yeah, well, you'd lose a day there and a day and a half there and a day and a half back.
Whenever I speak to people and they say, "Oh, we're going to America or England or wherever," they go for months and months and months.
Especially UK, because that's 32 hours. You know,
Yeah.
that's a long way.
Well, Michaela Payne is our friend of the show. Hello to her. She's going away for 6 months, doing England and Europe and America and Canada, and she's gone for 6 months, and she leaves next week. So,
All right. So
God bless her.
She's got the bug now. She's on and upwards, isn't she?
Well, not only that, there's a bit of a concern because she left the boyfriend Sam Martin to his own devices for 6 months. So,
Right.
God knows what happens in that period of time. But no, she's taking off on an amazing trip again, and we wish her well. And telling me about it the other day, what she's doing, absolutely bloody incredible. What she is doing. So, I hope she has a wonderful time.
I'm sure she will. She's worldwide now. Wise, isn't she? She's she's been through the US a fair bit and had a good look around there. So you might as well now go to Europe and find out what that beast is about, because that's got a fair bit to do over there. And
and she knows what a good lawn looks like.
make sure you take a euro for a pee. Make sure you got euro money in your pocket.
Oh, really?
Everywhere in Europe. You know, Australia must be the only place that has public toilets that you don't have to pay for. But anywhere in Europe, doesn't matter what city or town you're in, make sure you got a pound or a couple of pounds, have some shrapnel in your pocket, because you got to pay to pee. And if you haven't got it, they don't let you in.
Oh, wowee. I didn't know that. When I was there, it wasn't the case. Indeed. Thank you. But I didn't know that was the case. But I tell you what, I think you pay if you go to public toilets in Australia, you're just paying a different way with illness or whatever.
Yeah, you sometimes get a seat, sometimes you don't.
But yeah, no, look, it's about those experiences, isn't it? I mean, like Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. I'll never forget the day one we're walking around Kuala Lumpur, and when you go into the 3 public toilets in a row, and they were all the ones on the ground.
The splits.
Yeah, could not find one to sit on. And I
never did that in Paris even.
I could not. I had to hold it for 4 hours until I got back to the hotel.
So your guts are going.
Just like I'm just hanging on to it because that was an awful experience. But look, it's about those sort of things, though, isn't it? Getting out and trying it all. And Michaela, she's young enough to have the world as her oyster, and she'll have a great time, and she'll know what a good mowed lawn looks like, no doubt. And what a straight line looks like. She'll have that all under control. And,
well, I think that's what we learn in America too. When you're in Las Vegas, everyone had cancer or an arm missing, or So at the end of the day, we would just. Everyone grabbed all the shrapnel out of their pockets and put it on the bench top.
Oh, right.
So for the next day, when you go out again, hey, mister, you can't die. You throw them a couple of dimes and whatever, quarter or whatever, you work it out.
Yeah.
And, we were walking down the strip one day, and these 2 US Marines just picked Mandy up, and, their shirts off, they're all Mr. Buffy, and they picked her up, and I started taking photos, and he said, $20. I said, be buggered, mate. I've already got the photos on the phone. Give me my wife back.
Oh.
You give us money, we'll give your wife back. I said, give us my wife back. Come on.
Mind you, Mandy would have been all right with it.
She looked good up there. We could have pawned her out and made some more money. We could have split it or something.
I'll give you 4.5 hours. I'll just got to go to the casino, give her back.
So once again, if you're going to Greece and Italy and Sicily and all that, you need you need the euros to pee, you know.
Yeah.
So make sure, Michaela, you got a few bucks in your pocket.
Michaela, listen, please, just to make sure, and take some of Gav's advice as well. No doubt, I don't know what travelling Gav's done in his life, but he's been to northern districts and dangerous places, so he'll
Certainly done
have some advice.
Done some laps around the club, hasn't he? For sure.
Yeah,
Done plenty of miles up there.
day at night, But he loves it.
Good on you, Gav.
He's going again.
Is he?
Yeah, he's going again.
He makes it all look good, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, and can't survive without him.
What about, we haven't spoken about the Russian war for a little while. Obviously, Russia invaded the Ukraine, I think it's going back to 2022, isn't it? Starting to run now. I think we're out to 2.5 years.
Yeah, 2022. A bit of debate over how it started. I don't know what your theory is, but...
Don't have one.
I've heard two schools of thought that it was either that Russia was telling people for a few years, don't let the Ukraine into the United Nations, and then America teased and said, no, we're doing it, we don't care what you say, and they put him into the United Nations, and that sort of flared up Putin from there. All the other school of thought is that he just wanted to have more of Europe and take over Europe. There's quite a bit of debate about that, how it all started or why it started, and I don't. I've heard so many schools of thought, but I don't know who, with it being Putin, who the hell knows, I guess.
I think he's taken a fair bit of land back, hasn't he, from Ukraine, and it's only now that you're starting to see with the assistance that Ukraine, I think, bombed the Crimea bridge. Is that right? The big one that has all the train on one side and traffic. I think that's 7 kilometres long or 8 kilometres long.
That has some balls to it, doesn't it?
They've smashed one of the pylons up, so
it's got some balls to it.
They're still letting people drive over it. That's a scary bit.
Yeah, I think you and I watched some footage just before where they still have people going over the top of it. I'm not sure I would. I'm not one to be going over a bombed bridge, but that took some balls. That took some real balls. Using Russia's own drones, capturing them, and
they've blown the bombers up this week as well that were on the landing pads. They've taken out some heavy helicopters as well. You can see that the Ukraine is now just starting to get back into Russia, isn't it, as a response to all this land going. They're starting to infiltrate around Moscow. He must be now starting to get a little bit worked up that, they're going to lose stuff. How much money for the planes? I think they're talking trillions of dollars.
34% of their Air Force gone.
Tanks are gone. They've lost
gone.
800 or some amazing number of artillery, everything, haven't they?
And well done to Ukraine.
And 1 million lives. That's the worst bit.
That part of it is sad, but I find it extraordinary that this happens and then the first phone call Putin makes is to Trump to say, hey, they bombed my planes, this ain't on. You go and invade them.
Yeah. As Dixie would say, no shit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But scary stuff. I'd love to see that thing wound up, but I think it'll continue on until such time that if he gets into the Kremlin, if Zelensky starts pushing further and further into Russia, they must be using their spare money or printing money off unrecognised gold, and that's only going to push inflation up. I think they're already paying $12 for a loaf of bread at the moment, so they're in wartime living, aren't they? Well,
Zelensky. Okay, so you got a war budget of $5 million before the war started. That was their total budget for military. The Ukraine.
$5 million, is that?
$5 million. That's all they had. Right now, you consider what America's pumped in.
Sure.
Since this has all started, Zelensky must be going, geez, hang on. What do you mean 53,000 rockets? Hello, here's a few new toys. So he must be going, oh, what do we do with this? How do I make this fly? So all of a sudden he's got to mountain of things that he can use. The problem being, now that he's starting to hit Russia back, you get old mate who's sitting there, Vlad, with his finger on the button.
More than likely.
So that's the concern, is that when does that card start to come out? If he's already ringing Trump saying, hang on, this isn't fair.
I tell you what else they did is they hit the oil thing in the water there as well, and they blew up. There was a one of the spinners that was picking up all the radar.
Right. Yep.
And they put a drone out from one of these goat islands here, and they come out and they put I think it was a 3 kilo thing on it, and they've blown that to pieces. So all through here, through the Black Sea, they're now blind, so they can't see anything. The Russians. So, see here, bang. So they've had a good go there, and now they've hit the bridge here in Crimea. So I think it was the Crimean bridge, or
it was,
I know it was the main one. So if Ukraine can get all that back again now, that would be certainly to their advantage, because they've probably still got their radar that works out here, but Russia hasn't got it.
Hasn't war changed?
Drone warfare is the new one. You've got a story
World
about
War One and World War Two was all arm, and you send your men into to fight.
Sure,
you don't have to do that these days.
It is changing, isn't it? With
it's all air and drones, and I was watching podcasts the other day where they were talking about drone technology, and China has now come up with a 25-meter wide wingspan drone that carries 6 tons of ammunition and has 100 other drones that it can put inside of it. And they've developed that and flown it over the top of Taiwan last week. And she's ready to go. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know about you, but I've become Chinese because I'm on their side. If that's what they've got in technology-wise and what they've built, I mean, that is a scary proposition.
I still think too, with the Australian setup here. Here we go. See, Russia's still got control of Crimea there, but I still have an issue personally with the this submarine AUKUS deal that isn't due until 2040, if even at best.
Yep.
If they're saying the invasion of Taiwan is really hooked into the 2027. 200-year party war. That's got no relevance to us here in Australia whatsoever, whether we get nuclear submarines in 2040.
No.
Get some drones. I know we got some drones, and I know we work on drones here as well. But you're going to have to start pushing these boats out as well, and I don't even see that boats are the big answer either. Like, they are sitting ducks. I know they've got lots of things around them to support them, but
if you've got 25-meter drones going around, they get to boats pretty quick, and boats aren't going to outrun
look at that there.
Yeah.
Chum, 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 chum.
Well, they're not going to outrun that, are they? So the thing that, like, China is so far advanced.
We assume they are.
They've even got the Huawei, if that's how you pronounce it, mobile phone that now flips back on itself and folds into 3, and then opens out like a little laptop. Now, Apple, Huawei are, of course, aren't allowed to go into America as a phone provider because they bugged all their phones, and
fair enough.
America were like, well, no, we don't want that.
Fair enough.
So now what's happened is that Apple have just announced in the last couple of weeks that they're now going to make their next iPhone, the 17 or the 18, whatever they're up to, in China because of the technology.
I think
so that they can get foldback phones.
I think you're still putting yourself at risk, aren't you? If they're saying the F-22 Raptors have got a kill switch, that you can kill their planes from working anywhere in the world, what's the fucking point? What's the point? What's the point of getting these things in 2040 and you've already you're already talking different languages.
Well, by the time they arrive, and I agree with what your point is, by the time they arrive, we're well and truly outdated, aren't we?
Look, I'm in for
2040.
I'm in for paying to get
2040.
one of the fleets down here to circumnavigate the east coast and the west coast. No problem. But what's going on with Darwin Port?
Well, nothing.
Haven't heard a goddamn thing. That was part of the election deal, wasn't it?
Well, I think Dutton was more pushing that than Albo, but
Albo did respond though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Here we are now. We haven't even heard one thing about that at the moment.
I think Albo won by so much he's still celebrating. I think he's out on the Kool-Aid. But, it's... I have a grave fear for Australia in the fact that we are just so far behind. And when you watch and you see the technology being developed, we're not a part of that. And we're just sitting down here and I just don't know.
We've got some of those underwater things that we're doing, bit by bit by bit. How many drones have we got? How many IMARs have we got? You've got to defend the coast, don't you, as well?
Why would we not? Now, I don't know, put it out there, but obviously we're an ally of America, but why would we not even go to the Chinese and say, well, look, hey, by the way, we've now sorted out our tariff situation with you. It's all back semi-level. Why don't we look at our technology and walk technology with you? I don't.
But you're dealing with the devil. You're dealing with communism, right?
Correct. So then, it's...
You can't do that.
No, you can't, I guess. But...
it's contradictory to the free speech, isn't it? It's you don't want to be dictated by China. You don't want to be dictated by the US either.
No, that's right.
I give Albo one tick that he's saying, "No, it's Australia, mate, and we're going to look after Australian interests." But at the end of the day, you've got to back it up with your put your money where your mouth is. You can't say, yeah, we'll protect this and then go, oh, look, America, can you come and save us now?
Well, that's right.
You can't have it both ways.
No, you can't. And I just don't want to be on 15th of December down at Glenelg Beach rubbing some sunburn cream in when a 25-metre bloody thing flies over the top and blackens the sky because it's coming up. I mean, to me, that is just frightening. But I guess that's for people paid more than you and I to try and work out what it's all about. But it's interesting to talk about because a lot of people don't know about this stuff. Like if you talk about a 25-metre Chinese drone to people, they go, well, what do you mean? 6 tons of weaponry that it can carry, that's a shizen load.
Well, you can split it out too. You can send a lot that way, a lot that way, can't you? And they've all probably got GPS coordinated.
Of course they would.
Already in it.
Yeah.
So it knows what its target is. So even these things, these are these speedboat death boats that just rip around the water, but they can be picked up on radar. But they can have 3 tons or something of payload in the front end.
We got these 25-metre ones flying around, right? And they've got 100 other drones that can split off and go in different directions and film and GPS and whatever break off that have got weapons attached to them as well. And don't tell me they've now made one and it works perfectly, that they've gone, thank God, that they ain't going to make another one.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll stop at one?
No. No.
So
I keep thinking in the back of my head, though, with all this technology that we haven't been told for 80 years,
yep,
is that someone's going to have this pulse gun. I've said it before on this podcast that I'm afraid that the 2nd and 3rd Fleet are going to come up behind Taiwan. They're going to put their Raptors in the air and they've got a pulse gun that goes poof, and it knocks out all electrical, everything, and everything falls from the sky. It's fucked. Rips the boats apart, everything. It's just...
So they could potentially do that to us without us even while we're asleep.
It might come back the other way. The Yanks might have it as well. But somebody, I would be thinking, has a technology yet that they haven't played their hand.
Oh, they're all sitting on stuff. they're all sitting on stuff. But how the Chinese announced about this giant drone was that America said, well, we're getting some pretty good technology here that flies and goes underwater and whatever. China said, hang on, hold my beer. Um, we've got this thing. And they actually announced it. Now, there was a school of thought that perhaps they should have held their cards closer to their chest in regards to that. But they've just gone, well, if you think you're developing good stuff, have a look at this.
I do love the American guy that's got the portfolio, like the defence portfolio. What's his name? Hegseth?
Yes, yeah.
That he's out there working out with all the all the Navy guys. Hey, he's a real male, isn't he?
Oh, he's terrific.
And he's proactive. He's fit. I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
Nothing worse than having an overweight guy running the military. You want somebody that's a bit like our guy. What's our bloke called? The shadow minister at the moment. He did go to
Yeah, there was a couple.
the Middle East there.
Shadow minister. There was Angus Taylor.
Nope.
Talking about Hasty. Andrew Hasty.
Yeah, Hastings.
Yeah.
Hasty.
Yeah, Andrew Hasty.
I like him. I reckon he's
Western Australian.
I was hoping if Liberal got in that he was our man, but he's the shadow minister still, isn't he?
He is, because they lost. But the one that concerns me is the current Minister for Defence, which is the guy that just always winks a lot and can't talk properly, and he's in charge of our defence, which is a bit of a concern. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but
He just went over there recently, didn't he?
yeah, he did, and when he got over, I think they thought, well, let's just send this clown back. Yeah, he
does.
He keeps
I know
winking
exactly
every time
what
he
you're saying.
talks. He keeps winking every
And
time he talks.
smirking like
Yeah, and it's like no one's told a joke, mate. He's a bit of an odd character, but he's in charge of our defence, which tends to worry me because they had to move him from finance because he kept stuffing it up. So I know we'll give you defence. I don't understand how that works, but anyway.
I think they've got to do. The Yanks are saying at the moment,
What's his name? I'm going to look it up while you're talking.
You're not spending enough money on defence. Like,
Yeah.
if we're meant to be at 2.5% or 3%, to have the Yanks look after us in a way that if we call them that we're doing enough ourselves, and at the moment I don't think we are. I know we're buying in a little bit of beef now from America and always have, but
I don't know. Are we ever doing enough? I don't know. I just don't. I feel we're not.
we're not in defence,
probably
but
are.
we're not a
Yeah.
hostile country that wants to go out, and never has been a country that's gone out to attack anybody. We've always been a support to the US and the AUKUS type setups.
Yeah.
And we've done great support roles throughout the years, to help support in World War II and World War One and
Well, even Vietnam.
Vietnam, all the way through.
Oh, there we go. Richard Marles.
He's the one.
I think if there's a circus, he'd be perfect to attend. I
think he's a bit unsure.
Even the other day, he couldn't say the word submarines. I enjoyed watching that. He was just kept on winking at submarines, and oh my God. Anyway,
long way off. I think too far off. You keep hearing that the defence cuts again. They're not doing the next fleet of F-22s or F-35s. Aircraft. So once again, does that mean then that the Indian Ocean is depleted? Is there enough on the West Coast? Is there enough on the East Coast? We don't know, do we? We don't know. And yes, we know that the air base up in Darwin has been spent a lot of money up there near Catherine there, or closer to Darwin, that they've got the big long runways to get the stealth bombers up there. Fantastic. They got probably 5,000 or 6,000 US troops up there. Fantastic. Get the fucking harbour back. Get that one sorted out. Get someone to buy it, or pay the deficit for what the agreement was plus whatever. I know it's millions of dollars, but it's only going to go up the more you leave it.
The idea that a foreign country owns the main port coming in from the north
For
of our
100
country
years, yes.
for 100 years is just I don't.
And I know Liberal did that deal, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yeah, that was.
So it's not Labor that did that deal, and you can understand that there's a bit of remorse to say, well, I don't want to spend all the money on their error of judgment. But, obviously at the time they were sort of in bed. And don't forget, all our big cities have been bought built with all that cheaper steel that we sold to China and then bought it back, all treated.
Look, countries all over the world.
We can't complain. Our cities are very good.
Countries all over the world take foreign money to try and improve things. Like at the moment, you've got Qatar.
Yes.
Pours millions and millions and millions into America, into their universities and to try and buy favoritism there. Now, that is something that the American government, it's not a public thing that gets raised, but I would be concerned as an American citizen that Qatar is buying and putting money into our universities and schools and teaching our people the way that we want them to be taught. And that, for me, would be concerned. So I think the Chinese money here is, but it just happens all over the world. I think countries get these finances to try and help themselves through. But
did they offer the US president a plane as well?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And
would you be worried about buying that plane?
Oh, goodness me.
Wouldn't you want to build your own plane with your own people and make sure, wouldn't you? Well, that's how my mindset works.
So there's, the Qatari money is right through American society and government. So that's a worry over there. But the Chinese money here, you look at our main cities like Sydney, Melbourne, even Adelaide to an extent, is all a lot of Chinese money. So we're at the beck and call of them.
To a point, but you can't be bullied either, can you? Like, they did hold up our ships in their harbour for 12 months. So, there's a wrap. You almost say, well, okay, we'll reduce you again and make you hurt again. You'll have to trade with India and that's not going well either, is it?
No, that's not even going in a good direction either. Pakistan is on.
That's right. So, that all that Northern Hemisphere is just fried, As Aussies down here, no wonder we don't, we got 26 million people here.
Yeah.
That primarily live on the coast.
And we're sitting here just trying to be the good guy. How long can you keep that up for?
I don't know. But,
Do you have to choose a side? Can you play Switzerland down the middle with China and America?
I think you can run with Australia as being Australia and be affiliated to one or the other. I don't think you can be on both. But
seems that's what we're trying to do.
I think we're appeasing China for the trade and we're appeasing the Yanks for defence.
Yes.
So we're sort of double dipping in a way that we're still trading with China, but so is the rest of the world dealing with China. You can't just say, oh, well, morally we won't trade with China. Well,
no.
That's just cutting your nose to spite your face, isn't it? So,
correct.
There's things you got to do, and we got good beef here, and we got no foot in mouth over here. Of course, we don't want to just let anyone's beef in or any of the animal products into Australia. We've got everything here we need. That's, I wish sometimes
it's tricky.
We never got into the World Wide Web in the first place because it was just a fucking pain in the arse when we had everything here.
It's
we made cars and, we even made an aircraft for the World War II at some stage,
Someone said the other day, and I can't remember who it was, but I was watching a podcast and they said, back in Australia, back in the 70s and 80s, we had hot cars, hot women.
Larrikins.
You could say what you want. You could say perhaps one racist comment and get away with it. But it's a bit harder these days.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't as personal back then,
if it's a joke or, whatever. But
we love our brickwork and we love our lasagna, don't we? They were skilled people that came in,
I just, nowadays, it's God, life was good back in the 70s and 80s. And I don't think we actually, to my reckoning, I think that we didn't enjoy it as much as we bloody should have. Had we known what was coming.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, we tried to grow up.
I have reduced my racism this week. I did make a deal with the daughter this week, Kato, and she said last night how proud she is of me that I've been better.
I think she should be.
I'm still going to defend Australians, mate. I'll tell you what.
Well, no, I'm the same, but we won't go down a racist path because we don't want Kate ringing up. We prefer she didn't. Yeah, well done, Kate. Kate's tidied us up.
Yes, she's given us a
She's tidied us
reprimand.
up a bit, and we won't go down that path. Yeah,
Prepare for landing.
yes, we got one coming in now. That could be the Japanese.
Could be.
Oh, see, that's sorry. I've crossed the line already. Yeah, I've crossed the line already.
What about let's move on from there. It's all the media's sort of stagnated with all that sort of gear at the moment. We got the UAP, the UFO stuff that's starting to still ramp up in the courts in
terrific.
America. There's more and more content
How good is
coming
it?
out. There's
is
a guy called Mellon that's put out a
Yes.
new one this week as well, and
Yep.
he's almost declaring now that get ready that there is a species. There's one species here that's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
There's little bits of filtering coming out, as you said before. There's been guarded or misinformation so that people don't panic, pull all their money out of the banks. The whole financial sector crashes.
Yep.
But it is one of the biggest questions in the world, isn't it?
Isn't it great?
Are we alone?
Isn't that great? I looked the other day. Someone was saying that in 2001, George Bush did a survey that supposedly the American government had life forms or machinery that was UFO, and he did a survey putting it out to business people saying, if we release this information, what does it do? And overwhelmingly, they said the world will go broke. People pull their money out. There'll be panic. For God's sake, don't do it. The world will crash financially. And so that was the report that was directed back to him. So he pulled out of releasing that information. But they do have information in America, and the question then becomes, well, if they have it, what do other countries have?
Sure. Chile has heaps. Chile's the UFO capital of the world. So every major country in the world would have the UFO program, and the Japanese have got a real big one. It doesn't matter where you sort of go. It is a relevant topic everywhere.
In America, they were now saying as well that there'd been 250 people disappear that had information back in 2001.
Sure.
They went missing.
Sure.
So they weren't murdered or killed. So their families still don't have answers on what happened to Uncle Derek. But he was in this UFO program and he had information.
And he's gone.
So wow. I find that just fascinating. I'd love to know. It's a subject. It's a bit like the JFK murder. There was information they were talking about the other day, similar to that, where if he got shot in the back of the neck, why was the blood spray out the front of the face?
Sure, there were two bullets. There were two gunmen, sorry.
Two gunmen. So I love these conspiracy theories. I'm a guy that I love those sort of things. But coming back to the alien debate, I've been doing a bit more research on this as well, and there's so much fascinating rabbit hole stuff that you can go down with it. George Bush going to make a statement publicly, standing up with a bit of paper in front of him, and all of a sudden someone grabs him by the back of the coat and off the stage.
Was that George Bush Jr.?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
she told me off only like a mother could do.
Oh, the man that famously he was at an abortion rally and said that everyone should take care of the feces instead of fetus. So, and then someone whispered in his ear,
"Get the foot out of your mouth! Get the foot out of your mouth!"
So the guy, black American guy whispered in his ear, and he went, "We've got to protect the fetus." And then he went, "Oh, sorry, the feces." So no, he was good, George.
Slip of the tongue. That's all that was.
Yes, but
what's going on in Paris? What's going on over there?
Well,
crazy stuff.
It's the world is just altogether.
It's all pre-charged at the minute, isn't it? Everywhere you go, there's unrest.
Is there aliens in Paris?
Is it typical? 2 dead, hundreds arrested in France after something or other.
So here we go, chaos in Paris. Mid-Champions
near the
League
Eiffel
win.
Tower.
Oh, so the Champions League soccer.
Oh,
must
this is
be on,
over
is it?
soccer. Oh, jeez.
Oh, we thought this was a world problem. This is soccer.
How many?
This is soccer.
I don't know if you saw the one on
They're burning cars.
when
Oh, good
when
Lord.
England got into the World Cup, and I
Yep.
think it was against Germany, or it wasn't long ago. It was in this last decade, so it was after COVID, and because everyone had been locked down, and England got into the World Cup.
Hello.
She just broke. England got into the World Cup that they all started to go crazy, and they were drinking like 12 hours before the game started. And in the end, even prior to the game starting, there were riots, and the beauty was that England lost that. They all went home.
Yes.
If they had won, it would have even been worse.
Oh, and it's all over soccer. And
All over soccer, brother boy.
I thought this was a war situation. When I thought this was a war situation.
Just popped up, isn't it?
It's just someone's had a bit of soccer going on. But they take this as seriously as the Winterball mob take some of their games up there at Surrey Downs.
To me, I look at sport. You win or lose. If you lose, you kick the dog and move on. Like you can't get that.
Well, the dog ends up barracking for your team too.
You can't get like this,
that
can you? You can't get like this
look,
over a freaking game of sport.
Would you be down the main street of Rundle Mall like this with the crows, with
No.
flares, and if they win?
No.
No, we'll see.
Win or lose, I wouldn't. As I said, the dog looks nervous as you walk past.
He's sitting there with a scarf on, hoping you get up because every week
A smart dog would wear the right gear, to
he's
appease.
got the right
but-
scarf on just to make sure, Dad, I'm with you. I need you to get up here. But this is unreal, isn't it, people? But that's
Champions
soccer, isn't
League.
it?
So that's over a win.
I would have thought so, or a loss.
Chaos in Paris,
Or a loss,
a
was it,
mid-Champions
potentially?
League win.
But someone lost, potentially.
No.
Bit like the Raiders last week, and they lost the
So
Winterball
I
match.
don't know why you need this
I got a bit
behaviour.
upset.
Why you need this behaviour when you win? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
But
that was a serious
anyway,
match.
it's a one of those.
Oh, hello, someone's
looting and all
there's
sorts. It's one of those
bargains at Foot Locker. The sort of bargain where you go in and grab a pair
They're
and out
running
you
out
come.
the door, aren't
yeah,
they?
you come. Look
Jesus.
at that. Oh, bananas, isn't it, really?
It's not good.
No?
Let's move on to Major League Baseball. We're both Yankees fans.
Yes.
They're in the mix, aren't they?
Top of the division and very much doing well. What did we say? The 39-24?
Yes, sir. 39-24.
39-24, which is a good spot to be. They lost to Boston today, and Boston is such a bloody mess. They're saying that manager's going to go in the coming days, and everyone hates each other, and they don't know how they're surviving.
It's such a good club, Red Sox, though, isn't it? It just turns up every year, even if it's down, it's still...
It's entertaining.
It's got a good purse. You go up to that stadium there, and you're going to get a... You got the big monster there, haven't you?
They're entertaining. I mean, every year they go, we're going to knock the Yankees out of first this year.
That's right.
And then by June, which we're currently in, the dream's over, and there's someone new coming in to manage them.
And look at the New York Mets. They're doing just as good. They're a couple of games up on the Yanks. So
Mets are up and about. Could we see a Subway Series?
maybe.
Or is Dodgers going to ruin it for everyone again?
Don't know. I reckon the Dodgers have just slipped a little bit. If we go back to who was the team up on front?
Well, I think Detroit Tigers are 140.
There you go. They seem to have not slipped all year. So whether they crash late in the year, I don't know.
They could
but
take the Yankees out.
at the moment, I'd say, when do we play them?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule. I tend to just go day by day at the moment. But I knew the Red Sox series would come up. It's at Yankee Stadium. I expected Yankees to win 4 in that, and the Red Sox got a game out of them today. So Crochet pitched for.
I know Maz is pretty happy at the moment still with the Yanks. They're doing all right, seeing they're
He's in
down
Sydney.
on pitching, aren't they?
Yeah, Garrett Cole obviously is out for the year, but
Yeah, talk the kids up. The Marlins are over there in Sydney, are they?
I think there was a good company that sponsored them. I believe
There you go. The old Mill Road Studios got
Mill
involved
Road
in this
Studios sponsored them. So they'll win knowing that. But they've gone over to Sydney yesterday for the Marlins tournament in the Nationals. Davey Roach and coaching them, and obviously
John Mass.
Maz is over there as well. Just for his looks, really. I don't think he does a lot. I think he just wanders around looking good.
He's a player,
I think.
isn't he?
I think that's why they take him, is because he just wanders around looking good.
Plus, he doesn't look much older than them. So
No, that's right. He's the same height.
he's a good looking
He'd
dude.
probably play if he didn't have a moustache.
He's a lot of fun. Yeah, he'd probably get in there, mate.
He'd probably have a go. But no, look, good luck to them.
They'll
all right
never
for the
let
week.
him into the over 45s, will they? He'll always be 20 years too young, you know.
I'd love to be that good looking at his age. But anyway,
But look, hopefully the Yankees continue as they are, because as we know,
Yeah.
Cole's out for 12 months, and
yeah,
at this stage they're
they look to be a pitcher short.
batting better than they did last year, though, aren't they?
They are. They just, I think, pitching defense wins World Series, and I think that's slightly where the Dodgers might have it over them.
How's Judge going? And John Carlo, is he still out? John Carlo?
John Carlo's out. I think he's been out for.
Do you think he'll get back in again? I don't think he'll come.
I don't think they need him, because when you pick up people like Goldschmidt and Bellinger, that still keeps that heart of the lineup strong.
What about Judge? Has he been hitting dingers?
Oh, he's been hitting dingers. He just does whatever he does. You know,
He still goes
he's
one from
incredible.
five,
He
doesn't he?
took a catch laying out the other day and hurt his shoulder, and I thought, oh, please don't tell me he's going to be out. But he got up and only missed one game. He took a stand against gay pride the other day, which I don't know if you've picked up on that news, but every year the Major League Baseball has a gay pride day where every club or team, sorry, should I say, no, they're not a club, every franchise wears a gay pride hat and a gay pride uniform for a day. Now, Aaron Judge took a very interesting stance, being the captain of the Yankees, and said, I won't play that day. I'm not interested in playing on Gay Pride Day. I think we should be more focused about baseball and winning in the baseball community rather than specialising in gay pride. Now, that took he came in for a lot of criticism.
Look, since
Yeah.
I've curved my racism, and
Yes,
look,
you've been very good.
We've got a rainbow board here.
You've been very good.
I think it's fine that if you support the rainbow, or you are part of the rainbow, good luck to you. You know, don't come into my office and my world and start pushing it with me.
Yeah.
And they don't. But once again, on a happy side, I think that if you're going to wear a shirt for a day with a rainbow on it, whoopie-doo. I don't think it's going to hurt you. I don't think it's a big enough topic to deter you from playing one game out of 161 games.
And
That's my opinion.
being the face of the team, I think that
don't make enemies. Just play
No,
baseball.
that's right.
If you're going to wear a pretty top, just wear a pretty top.
And he says, it should be more about baseball and the playing of baseball. Well, then just play baseball. I don't.
I'm with you.
I don't know why he had to make that stance, but it was very, very, very big. Like, it made all the sports shows over there for days, and he was very, very heavily criticised for it.
Come on, Judge. Smarten up, Judge. Come on.
Yeah.
Love the rainbow. Hey,
Taste the rainbows.
chase the rainbow.
Yeah.
One day you'll find it. The
Yeah.
rainbow connection.
Mind you, his girlfriend's
The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
You sound like Kermit the Frog. But
Same colour,
his girlfriend's
same
not
colour.
bad, Aaron Judge. His wife's quite tidy, and I think he likes going down that path.
All right, AFL. What's been going on in the AFL? How's the Adelaide teams going this week?
Adelaide Crows.
Adelaide Crows, they took on
Premiers.
the Premier.
Are they going to go Premiers, Adelaide? No.
I would not put $20 on Adelaide.
Bloody chance.
I think they're better this year. Mandy's dad's saying that they look a lot better this year and probably could go all the way. Going all the way is a little bit too early. To me, there's a couple of young guys in there that still are a little bit flamboyant. I know, that they're young and excited that the club's playing good footy, and they are playing good footy. They're putting in the extra, like Port do every week, where they They tackle hard, they hang on, they go 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
Now, the Crows have been soft, and I'm a Crow supporter. They've been soft for 25 years, man.
They look good, though. Look, I'm not
I'm
a
not
Crows
knocking
man,
them.
as you know.
I'm not
I
knocking
don't.
them. They look really good, but
I'd rather see anyone beat them. But
get rid of the media,
look
zip
good.
it up, go and play good footy. All right, you won one, and you probably were lucky that they kicked 9 points. The only good thing I did like about the Crows is they took it on in the last quarter and they kicked 5 unanswered goals.
so
And then it made the stress go on to Brisbane that they had to deliver, and they just punched points and out on the fools and stuff that you would normally do if you're in front because you haven't got that panic. So I give credit to the Crows that they took the first part of the thing on, but they've got to look at their defence that when you've only got 3 or 4 minutes to go, don't keep kicking the ball straight out and it's coming back in again. For goodness sake, take control, slow it down a little bit. It's not saying just stop playing the offensive, but don't just kick it back to the same freaking spot and then they get 9 kicks at go and say, we had more scoring shots than you.
I tend to think they were learning, though. Like the Crows haven't been in that position for a while.
Sure.
So they go, well, okay, what do we do here? It's coming in like the Vietnam War. We're getting bombs everywhere. What do we do? We just got to keep kicking the bloody thing out.
I'm not knocking them.
And I thought that took courage for him to get through it. I thought it was a very good performance. I still think Brisbane, when the whips are cracking, I think Brisbane will be...
Could be. I like Geelong too. I think Geelong...
yes.
They've been good all year. You know, Dangerfield had a week off last week. I don't know if he was injured last week. I didn't see a lot of the game last night. But
I did watch that one.
He is a barometer for them as well, isn't he? You know, that...
Dangerfield, I love watching him play.
And he just grabs the ball and he runs, you know, like he lifts them out of trouble.
Well, you know, I mean, the first opening one, the ball sort of bounced forward, Geelong end, and a couple of Suns race to get it, and Danger comes in at 360 kilometres from the right of the screen.
How's old Green getting a corky in the glute? Oh, do you see him? Oh, see him go down. He's going, and he's rolled over, and it would have hurt.
Amelia, my daughter, she loves her footy, and she couldn't stop laughing for half an hour. She goes, he's been hit in the bum, and he's gone down like he's shot.
Oh, yeah,
and he just, dude, it was the softest thing that I've ever seen.
It was a big knee in the cheek. I reckon it went deep because those guys haven't got a lot of fat on their ass anyway. But
I don't know. But he went down like he was shot, and he was just laying there kicking the ground. And my daughter's going,
he's always scrapping.
Like, what are you?
He's a tough dude. I reckon. I reckon it hurt him.
I probably did. But Port, we'll move on to them. I guess another week of let's do it for Kenny. I don't know how many more weeks he can do that for. But he got him up, and they went and won in Canberra, which they hadn't won for a few years.
Imagine how cold it was in Canberra as well. So, look,
-2.
I tip my cap to them as well that they did run the game out. I didn't see the second half. I wound it up before then.
It was one of the worst games of footy I've seen for a long time.
We're getting out to about the 53 minute mark.
Yeah, no
I'm
worries.
Not wind it up, but no, I thought both clubs again, they did what they had to do this week.
4 points, get on the plane, come home.
Yeah, once again, Port just got to keep winning. Now, I know they got lots of injuries, so there is no excuse for them. The fact that there is excuses that they have got people down.
Well, they get a stack of blokes back next week, and then you go Melbourne, West Coast, North.
Yeah. Hey, look.
So there's probably a few
once again, I think it's great that they got over the line last night and did it because it does show some balls again. That, you've got the depth to get through most stuff. So well done to them.
Both local teams.
Look, once again, I just think it's good for the state. Little old Adelaide that doesn't have a tall skyscraper. Everyone bags Adelaide, that their little city. North Terrace is looking good, and I think that the tax department's looking at putting a couple of towers up.
Oh, are they?
Next to the Festival Theatre.
Right.
So I
And
don't.
it's good for you and me.
I don't
Your
think-
mob one, my mob one. So, we're both up and about today.
Build it, they'll come. Make it look good. They're starting to get closer to doing some sort of work on South Road. That one's
Right.
still been going on for yonks,
Still will be.
and that would be still a decade away, I reckon.
On
from
another podcast, I'll
finishing
talk to you
up.
about some lighting that needs to come up
Sure.
from the netball courts at Surrey, where is it, Golden Grove,
Yes.
down to the Salisbury East, down that one major road that 500 million cars go up and down at night. There's no lights.
Is that right? Nothing at all. Still,
Still nothing there. And to me, that's just incredible.
this day and
They
age.
can go and build a soccer stadium for 500 million at Modbury, but we can't get lights to go from Golden Grove down to Salisbury East.
Yeah.
I'm a bit mystified by that.
Yes, I don't think the playing field's totally fair there, but that's
Anyway.
political. We'll stay.
Yes.
Our nose
No racist,
pretty-
no political.
Well, we're
Yes.
trying to be better. We're
Yes, we are.
certainly not perfect, but
Kate, I hope you've appreciated it.
yeah, Caitlin gets a sticker this week, so
Yes. Yes, we're doing our best, love.
you'll get the Mill Road sticker this week,
Oh,
Kato, for making sure
Yeah.
that the boys just tidy up a bit.
We'll-
We have.
Doing our best, I promise you, because there's probably more that we could have said.
That's right. So, but anyway, look, what a week it is. We're
Yes,
we're
yeah.
around the 55-minute mark. What we might do
Busy
is
week again.
start to wind it up. What are we going to close out on this week?
Well, what do we got?
No more politics.
No politics. Let's put that away.
What's coming up this week? What's coming up?
Well, this week, just for people that are Dodgers that are following, the AGM is on the 19th of June. Don't forget to go and go to that and see what goes on. Lots of volunteering needing, few positions empty. So we are needing help at the club for that. So that's coming up, but that's not till the 19th. But other than that, we've got Michaela Payne's farewell, you and I.
That's coming up next Saturday.
Next Saturday night, no doubt there'll be a couple of lemonades and a few laughs had at that one.
Peter
And,
Renfrey up there as well.
Peter Renfrew will be up there, and I would believe that Michelle Nichols would be up there. She's one of God's great ones. We always need to say hello to her, and so she'll be up there, no doubt. Flat on the floor, drunk by the end of it, but that's okay.
Good stuff.
We can. There's even talk of a sleepover as well.
Look, I've even got Andy Smith, my future
Yes.
son-in-law's got a game of golf with me
Oh, hello.
next Sunday with Peter Renfrey and his
hello.
his golfing fraternity. So
Can
we're
we
gonna,
podcast that?
look, we should take some video and we'll have some snippets to put up the following week. But
Where are you playing?
I think we're just playing down at the levels here.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a 9-hole that you go round twice, and
I might sit in the car and have a
I've
look.
been happy enough to get a buggy, or lucky enough to get a buggy with Andy. So,
Oh, nice. I might sit in the car and have a look and see how that all goes.
look, it sounds good.
All right.
Shaun Evans will wind this one up, mate.
Love you, brother.
And love you too, mate. And
Bye, folks.
we'll look forward to the week off to come, and we'll probably come back in the second or third week with our next podcast.
Yes,
and,
we will. And we always have fun doing these, don't we? So,
it's good fun. Love doing them.
hello to everyone. Take